What is up, everyone? Welcome to the channel once again, and this time it is now Chapter 2, Season 2 of this YouTube channel officially. I'm recording this at 2 in the morning. I should be asleep, getting ready for a busy day tomorrow. Because, well, as you can see, it is now November 1st, if you're watching this on November 1st, but it is now officially Season 2. Hopefully you're not watching this on January 31st. But we're going to show you everything that's going to be new to this season because there's a lot of things that have changed, or at least a lot of games have changed. So yeah, let's get on with it. This video's purpose is to explain how this season's going to work. And as you can see on the left, that is our logo. It is now red and yellow instead of blue and salmon. For some reason, I chose salmon to be the color. That was a mistake that I should have never made. Or at least salmon was the secondary color, but not anymore. So let's get on with it. First, I'm going to go over the standings from last season so that everyone knows what has happened to all the games that were in the schedule last season in Season 1. So, let's begin. First, let's start with Class S, which is the highest league. First, we start off with Roblox. They have been purged because every Roblox game's been purged because the CEO of Roblox has gone mad. I don't know what's happened. It's all started with the Schlepp situation in August, and that's still not resolved. It's November now. So, I honestly don't. And plus, there's so many other reasons why I had to purge this game as well. With stupid updates, and now they have segregation being one where I can't chat with certain age groups anymore. Most of my fan base is under the age of 16, so that's going to be majority of my fan base. So, yeah, I'm glad I ditched this platform. Me personally. So, yeah. Alright, the second game is Grow a Garden. This game has also been purged, again, because it's related to Roblox. And honestly, even this game is more of a tycoon wait around and do nothing game anyways. And this game is probably going to be relegated this season as well, if it was still in the schedule. Because Grow Garden has definitely fallen off from what it used to be, but it's still popular though. But I just don't play it anymore. Alright, next up is Fortnite, and this game managed to get last place in Class S. Even though I purged a bunch of games, I'm still relegating them. So Fortnite is being relegated to Class A, as they have failed to beat anybody in Class S. Yeah. Fortnite just, I don't know what happened. It really started to be bad this month, or this last season, because it used to not be like that. Like in Chapter 5, Season 3 of this Fortnite game, it was great. It was also Chapter 1, Season 1, and Fortnite was doing great. Now it's just like, what happened? Moving on. Next up is Forsaken. Even though they're the champions of last season, they have been purged as well. Forsaken was really popular though, so I have to give credit to that. So it was fun while it lasted, but unfortunately, Roblox is only going more and more downhill as it continues to exist. And next is Rocket League. This is the only game from last season that is going to be in Class S, actually, because they because everyone else has either been purged or got relegated. So yeah, Rocket League is our longest serving Class S member currently, not of all time though. But we got some pretty strong titles coming as well. So yeah, Rocket League what got third place last season. So yeah, they got in the middle. To be honest with you, I was expecting Rocket League to get relegated last season, but they didn't. Instead, it was Fortnite, and the only game that did, and the other game that did worse than Rocket League was technically Roblox themselves. So, and that just goes to show that Roblox has fallen off because they used to always secure number two every time, and they just haven't done that. All right, moving on to Class A. We start with the strongest battlegrounds. They have been purged, and this game has just completely fallen apart. Um, Simply because it's the same thing over and over again. They don't update their games enough to actually maintain a good, healthy stream. So, yeah, that said, Fall Guys, they got third in Class A, so they're going to stay in this tier again for this season. Um, so, yeah, I would say this is probably a spot that Fall Guys might be in for a while. Now Fall Guys did get a dip in players. I don't know what happened, but it's still getting views though. All right, next up is Dead Rails, and they have also been purged. This game is actually good though because they're adding biomes, but again, I don't play Roblox that much anymore, so. Next is Apex Legends. This game got relegated because they got last place in Class A, so they're going down to Class B this upcoming season. So now the reason why I haven't now I know you guys probably noticed why I haven't said any games have been promoted. That's because all the promoted games got purged. So I just want to point that out there. There is still promotion in this schedule. So um yeah, we'll explain that in a minute. We also have Rivals. They've been purged as well. Um, yeah, I think that's a good game though. So, and then we get to Class B, Destiny 2. They got third place last season. They're gonna stay in Class B. Brookhaven got purged. Um, Brawlhalla, which is really underrated right now, and has been pretty much, in my opinion, been robbed of being promoted. But you know, rules are rules. They're gonna have to stay in this tier for this upcoming season. But I have a high. There's a really high chance that Brawlhalla is getting promoted to Class A next season because they surprised me, and not just me, but everyone. Because I never expected to get a lot of views from Brawlhalla, and that's why they are most likely getting promoted to Class A in this next season. Then there's Ink Game. They have been purged. Squid Games has been came out a while now, so it's gonna start aging soon. Sims 4. This is probably one of the worst games that was in the schedule last season, and they managed to get relegated. I mean, not surprised. They've been relegated to Class C. So in Class C is basically your last chance of survival. If you get relegated from there, you're out. So all right, moving down to Class C. Ignore that. I forgot to remove the fourth tier, 45-minute streams, normal videos part. That shouldn't be there. And because streams aren't 45 minutes anymore in this tier. Speaking of which, the lengths of live streams of each tier has changed. For Class C, it is now 60 minutes, which is an hour. Class B is the only one that remains unchanged, as it's still an hour and a half. Class A has been reduced from 2 hours 15 minutes to 2 hours. And Class S has also been reduced from 3 hours to 2.5 hours. This is so that I have more time to do whatever I need to do, so. So yeah. Alright, next, now we continue through Class C. My Singing Brain Rot, even though they were supposed to be promoted, they got purged. So, yeah. Then there's Rec Room. They got third in Class C, so they were sent to the, play-in tourney. And they managed to survive, so. Squid Game X got purged. So it's really nothing special for them either. And then for Zenless Zone Zero's case, they've been in the play-in tourney. They were on the brink of elimination, actually, but they managed to pull through in the third and final round to get to stay in Class C. So yeah, it was a close race for all those games. And then the final one was Anime Last Stand. They were purged. And even if they weren't going to be purged, they were going to be relegated out of the schedule anyways. So it's really like, yeah. So yeah, now that we've talked about all the games that was in Season 1, you might be wondering what all the purged games will be replaced with. Well, I'm going to go over them, as there's a bunch of games that I put in the schedule that were all historically good. And that's why I put them in the schedule for this season, so let's get started, because the machinist is waiting for us to get started. First off, I also changed the logos of the classes to make it more simple, so that it's easier for people to be able to read from afar, in case if it's like shrunken down for whatever reason, like it is on Discord. Yeah, it should be much easier to read these now. So we start off with Class S, and this first game is probably going to be the one that wins every single season, because this game is Geometry Dash. Last time we've had this game in the schedule was Chapter 1, Season 4, but they're back. The greatest game of all time on this channel is back. Once again. And hopefully I can keep it here without overloading myself, so. So yeah, Geometry Dash, for those who don't know, this is one of the very few games that manages to get 100 views every time I stream it. It just happens. My stream would just get flooded with people. And now that this is no longer a monthly stream and is now going to be a weekly stream, there's going to be even more people coming to this YouTube channel. So, instead of there being like one of these every month, there's now going to be 3, 4, or 5 of these every month. There's going to be a total of at least 10, but there's most likely going to be more than that because of the playoffs. Because I think they're going to get like so many more during the playoffs. Yeah, speaking of the playoffs, 10 of the games that are going to be in the new season will be in the playoffs. They will have extended streaming time during those periods of the season. All right. So, next game is called Asphalt Legends Unite. This game is here because they had a really historically good season in Chapter 1, Season 6, before I ended up having to shut that season down because of jury duty. Now, don't know why this game didn't make it into the schedule before whenever people were able to vote for it, but I had to put them in here now. So, yeah, Asphalt Legends is now in Class S actually. I mean, as they should be because they've had a historically good performance in Class A. Um, because yeah, there were classes and there was still the class system in Chapter 1, Season 6. That was the first season we'd had that system. And Asphalt is a good racing game, especially if you're playing with friends, but I would recommend grinding a little bit and getting a good car before you play multiplayer because you want to. And I would mostly go for Class D cars so that you have a car. So because there's not a whole lot of people that have other classes. So yeah, third game is going to be Rocket League. As I mentioned earlier, this is the only game that is from last season that managed to stay in this tier. Now Rocket League this season though, I hopefully it will work out very well. There should be a new Rocket League season coming in a month. And that is simply because it's about to be. It's about to be. Hold on, I can't speak. It's about to be the end of another chapter for Fortnite as well. So, yeah. And the next game here is Trackmania. This game, the last time you've seen this game was in 2020, was in early 2024 actually. For those who've actually watched the channel before Chapter 1 Season 1. And if you did watch those streams, you should very well know that these streams do get a lot of views. A lot of people a lot of people enjoy watching me drive a car around a track, especially in Battle Royale mode. And honestly, this game is definitely also underrated because it's not just a racing game, it's also parkour. It's literally both in one. So good luck playing this game. All right. And the final game is a game that just came out. Um, this game is here as like a test run to see how it does. Warzone is number 2 though. I think that's a response from I don't know. I think our GA Cup video. Yeah, I've already revealed the GA Cup. So if you're looking for that, go to that video. It's came out before this one. However, it is a new GA Cup season, so feel free to vote. But Sonic Racing Crossroads, if you haven't heard of it, it's probably one of the bigger racing games that have came out this year because they are rival. They have DLCs. They have collabs with popular stuff, and they are trying to compete against Mario Kart World, especially because Mario Kart World messed up this time. I have to admit it, they've messed up. Um, First off, removing 200cc from Mario Kart was stupid. Second, half of a lot of the turns in Mario Kart is just you going straight. And three, Mario Kart Deluxe has a better item pool than freaking Mario Kart World because Mario Kart World you get freaking 3 red shells in second place to beam your first place person with, which is stupid. You should never have 3. Um and plus 24 racers, really? That is literally more chances for someone to bean boozle you, which is a little stupid. This shouldn't really happen. This shouldn't have to exist. 12 is enough. 12 was enough. 12 is the perfect number of people that should be in a race. So so yeah, that's why Sonic Racing Crossroads is here. Well, really, that's not really why, but it's there because it's a good game, and I feel like they could succeed because they too are a racing game, just like Trackmania, Asphalt Legends, and another game that recently got promoted through the GA Cup. So, which we will get to in a bit because that's in Class C. All right. Speaking of classes, we are now moving on to Class A. Our Class A games, we start with Fortnite. They were relegated down here last season, so hopefully they can make a comeback and avoid relegation in this season, because if not, because they did perform the worst out of all the games last season. So if they do this again, they're probably going to be relegated to Class B, which is known as a double relegation because you get relegated 2 seasons in a row. Sadly, I'm predicting that to happen because it's likely going to happen unless if Fortnite makes a change. Now, it is time for the Simpsons season to start, which is perfect timing because this season's been rubbish for Fortnite. Because this season, Fortnite can potentially make a comeback right now. Because first off, you have the Simpsons season, which I don't expect big things from it because I didn't grow up watching it. But when December hits, that's when the new chapter starts. So, however, it would be week 5 by the time we have the next season start after the Simpsons season. So, yeah. So maybe Fortnite can bounce back. If this chapter's a flop, they won't. They will just get relegated. We'll see. We'll see what Chapter 7's like. We'll see if they bounce back or not. Next up is Trove. This game, if Fortnite's going to avoid relegation, it would be in place of Trove, to be honest with you. But Trove is here because they are filler, and I enjoy playing this game a little bit. So, yeah, it is literally a dungeon crawler. It's an MMO as well, but I don't really see a lot of players all the time, though. So, yeah, this game, if you haven't heard of it, it's a dungeon crawler that's kind of blocky like Minecraft. A lot of people compare it to Minecraft. So yeah, I think this game could do something if they start having more events. So they do have a 10th anniversary event. This game just turned 10. It's crazy how this game is 10. All right, moving on to Fall Guys. This game definitely is doing good in viewership wise, but it's not doing good in player count wise. But so they are in this tier, but they need to find a way to not have 600 players playing on Steam. They need more than that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Fall Guys. Everything seems like problematic right now. Matchmaking is starting to become a problem in NA East, as we're not getting full lobbies in duos or squads. And sometimes we even end up having so few teams, it just doesn't let us play the game, and we just have to queue again. Ranked seems to be working, though. I don't know what's going on with Fall Guys. I'm pretty sure everyone's playing other games. Well, I mean, part of it is the season themes. They're not really adding a lot of content when it comes to the gameplay style. Ever since Epic bought it, is just they just haven't been focusing very much on it, but they should probably focus more on it. Like, seriously. All right, moving on to a game that I've never played before. Actually, I've never played this game before because this previously was a PC exclusive. Well, not anymore. It is now probably the first of PC exclusive games from the 2000s. Yes, this game came out in the 2000s. It's old, I know. Some of you guys weren't even alive when this came out. I think it was 2008. Wizard 101. Yeah, I've never played this game, and and this game has been out since 2008, so it's crazy, right? Well, we're going to play it now because it's on Xbox now and PlayStation. I don't know if it's on Switch, but I know it's on Xbox and PlayStation. Um so yeah, this should hopefully, if this season succeeds for Wizard 101, this should send a message to other games like Albion, World of Warcraft, that it should be a good idea to port to console, which I'm hoping is the case because I've never played World of Warcraft either. And that game is older than me. That game came out in like 2001. If I'm correct. That's if I'm correct. Yeah, that game is really old. And it's probably the most popular game from the first 5 years of the 2000s. But for Wizard 101, I can't really give you a description on this game because I've never played this before. I've only seen my older cousin play it when I was in elementary school. So that's about it. I don't know how this game will work, but I'm excited to figure it out. So yeah. And next up is the Elder Scrolls Online. This is another MMO that I decided to put in here because why not? I was just like, I need to put something here, so I did. The Elder Scrolls was put here. Simply because a lot of fans probably will like Skyrim. I mean, they probably do like Skyrim, which is part of the Elder Scrolls series. This one focuses on online gameplay, though. We are now 2/3 into this PowerPoint, so. All right, next up is Class B. This is our third tier in the relegation / promotion system. And we start off with Apex Legends, who has been relegated out of Class A last season for its terrible performance. They were the fourth worst game last season, as they were just not very successful. They were able to score a few points last season, but they didn't score enough to avoid relegation, as they have been sent down to Class B. The problem with Apex, though, is that there's not much to do other than Battle Royale. I mean, there is some extra modes, but those modes aren't really fun. And they also don't have access to solos, which I've been complaining about for over 2 years. Or actually, maybe a year, not 2 years. But I think it's ever since early 2024, so it's almost 2 years. I've been complaining that they don't have solos. They need solos, dude. Like, come on, man. Just release it. We're all waiting, dude. Like, Fortnite already has FNCS for solos. Why not join the fun? Anyways, moving on to the next game, Brawlhalla. I'm seriously hoping this game gets promoted this season. Because I think they deserve to move up a league, but they didn't because they didn't win. They got second place last season. So they definitely deserve to be in Class A. So that's that. It's a really underrated fighting game. I don't even know what the player counts are between Brawlhalla and um Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I but I feel like this game could be a legit rival of Super Smash Bros. Alright, moving on to Destiny 2. This game pulled a surprise move last season because in Chapter 1, Season 6, they were terrible. They were on the verge of being one of the worst games last of that season. But and that's not what happened in Chapter 2, Season 1. They were actually good. They were actually pretty good, but I don't think they're going to be good enough to be promoted this season. I mean, Destiny 2, there's a lot to do in the game. It is a grinding game though, so if you're a fan of Blox Fruits, you'll like this game because you're going to have to play missions over and over again until you level up or get good enough gear to do whatever you want. So yeah, if you like grinding, Destiny 2 is here. So alright, moving on to a new game. I wanted to put this one in here because it's another MMO, but this one is different than most of these games. There's no PvP. It's a PvE focused game, which honestly I think this is supposed to be a cooperative game. So Palia should be a good game. The logo kind of reminds me of Palamon or Palimon or whatever that game's called that Nintendo's trying to sue, but it's going to fail. Um, or that's what it's called, Pal World. I'm sorry. I can't remember the names of games. It's 2 in the morning. I need to sleep, dude. So yeah, that is that. They have never had. This is a brand new game as well, so we're going to see how it performs. And then another game that I've thrown in as filler is No Man's Sky. This game is only here because I just want to explore some planets. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to explore planets? Because I think some of the planets that you can get are pretty cool. As there's so many different types of planets, you could just explore them all. I just want to explore them all, but you can't because there's like billions. Like the devs intentionally put billions of places to explore in a game. So yeah, No Man's Sky is here. And now we're moving on to the fourth and final tier, Class C. I don't know why that says Class B, but this should say Class C. There's always some form of issue with the PowerPoint every season, so bear with me. Starting with The Sims 4, this game got relegated last season because this game was the second. I think it was the second worst game in the schedule last season. Out of all 20, and they just managed to go down. The Sims 4 is really hard to play with I don't think you can do multiplayer. Because that's not really what it is. It's not a multiplayer game. A lot of people aren't going to want to do multiplayer games because you can't really play with fans. And that is basically that. Now, this season, though, I am restarting my Sims 4 journey because I don't know what happened in my last game, but it was chaos. Like I had two people catch on. I had two people. I had two different people catch on fire. The last time I played this game, I don't know what happened. And now everyone's scared of fire. Like what the heck? So yeah, that is the Sims 4. The next game is Minecraft. They recently were promoted through the GA Cup. I'm excited for this one because this game hasn't been in the schedule for at over a year. Last time they were in the schedule, it was Chapter 1 Season 1. That started on August 23rd of 2024. And that season ended like midway around October 10th. So it's definitely been, yeah, it's been over a year since Minecraft was last in the schedule officially. And now they're back. Hopefully they don't get relegated because I know Minecraft's history has been a little rough, but I know they can at least attempt to survive this season. All right. Next is another game that managed to survive through the play-in tourney, which is Rec Room. So Rec Room is back. Honestly, I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with this game this season. Because now that there's more streaming time, I have to do more things with Rec Room. Yeah, it's Rec Room. Rec Room does get a decent amount of people to watch those sometimes. So if we're lucky, we will see an increase. As this game is available on mobile, console, PC, and even VR. So, but the best way to play the game is actually on VR. So, but I don't really like the VR because it makes me have migraines and it alters my vision so weirdly that I feel weird taking it off. So yeah, that's that. Alright, moving on to another game that has been promoted through the GA Cup, and that is Fortnite Rocket Racing. This one is the biggest surprise to come to the schedule, but it might be for the better if we can pull this off. Because Rocket Racing, unlike normal Fortnite, can actually get views. At least last time I streamed it in the beta stages of this YouTube channel, which was in 2024. Hopefully this time they can actually function. Because Rocket Racing's second anniversary is coming up this season in December, so alongside Odyssey and Festival. I think yeah, every year there's a bunch of new Epic games that comes out. This year we had Ballistic come out as well as Brick Life. And well, both of them kind of fell off a little bit. So yeah. All right, and then you have another game. This game barely survived, but Zenless Zone Zero is back, and I'm guessing the good news is we have more time to complete our missions now because Class C has longer live streams. So yeah, that is that, and there it is. That is the end of that part of the presentation. Now we get to our Discord server. I would recommend joining our Discord server. Link should be on the About page. If it doesn't work, please let me know as soon as possible so that I can fix it, so that we can have, because there is going to be a point in time where it won't work, because the way I set the link up is that every 100 members is a different generation on Discord. We're currently in the 3rd generation of the Discord server now. Now, what I found out is that on average, half of the generation will leave the server. I don't know why, but we do have 100 members, so yeah. If you join the Discord server, we actually have 2 Discord servers now, but one of them is for mainly normal stuff about this YouTube channel. The other one is the UAFL, which is a special stream we do once in a while, which is our football league. Those streams are usually Tuesday through Saturday, every single night. So yeah. And if you play Fortnite, Rocket League, or Fall Guys, I don't know if the creator code works for Fall Guys, but we do have a creator code. Just use code HUJUN1 in all caps, and you should be able to play. And you should be able to support, which I don't know how much. This is an old image on the left, by the way. I haven't updated it because I was like, why do I want to? I just never do. And then the GA Cup. I don't really have a logo for this anymore, but the GA Cup, we're using the same structure from last season because it obviously works. Except the difference is, instead of there being 32 Roblox games, it's now 32 pay-to-play Xbox games. And that means Battlefield 6 is now in the GA Cup, in case if you're wondering about that game. I don't know how long it will take for certain games to win or lose. We'll find out soon. So yeah, and that's going to do it for this PowerPoint, I guess. So I guess I'll see you guys in the new season. Peace.